Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another session of 123 Technicals after a very long time. So throughout last week we did not have any sessions, and that was because of I went for my friend's burial. So throughout last week it was very rough for me. Uh, Last week and then the other week it was quite rough. But then it's a new week, so man's got to do what he got to do. So, for those of you that are new, 123 Technicals is basically uh, a market outlook session. I get to show you guys how I view the market, opportunities I'm seeing in the markets. Yeah, and then we try to see how we can take advantage of certain moves the market makes, because that's like the way we can make money. It's not just by identifying them, it's by actually knowing how to take advantage of them. So, and most times I record the sessions and then I actually post them on my YouTube channel. Those of you that are not subscribed, you can subscribe and you can rewatch other episodes on it. There are a lot of stuff to be learned. I talk about some things here that I don't think I see in class. You know, some things, especially not especially psychological factors, things that deals with trading psychology. So those ones just comes to your head and then you say it's not like I have a curriculum for that. Anyways, without further ado, we're already late. Let's get into the business of the day. So we normally start with fundamentals and look at what we have. But I think the high impact news we had already was this cash rate on AED
I
around
traded it.
530. Yeah, yeah. Stuff was wild. Um I saw the long week. Actually, I was not awake by then. I saw the long week. But then apart from that, we have low impact news up until 3 p.m. Oh, someone said you traded it this morning. That's nice. That's nice. Made small cash. Yeah, it's important you cut the move. Anyways, we have mid impact news by 3 p.m. on CAD and USD. These are mid impact news, so expect little or no volatility at all. Let's jump on our charts and see what we have today. And I forgot to say, those of you that are new, normally I look at the currency pairs I trade first. Yeah, I trade four currency pairs: ADUSD, NZD Euro USD, and GBP USD. Then I take one or two suggestions from you guys, and then we get to trade it. So let's take a look at AUD first. I think since Thursday or Friday, no, since Wednesday last week. The last time I traded was on Tuesday last week. Yeah, that was the last time I traded. Since then, the market has been making very, I don't want to call it unpredictable, but then it has just been rapid. Gets the whole thing has been rapid. We had, okay, let's take a look at the forex. Let's do our top down. Let's check on our directional time frame and see where we're headed exactly. Can you all hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. On our directional time frame, on our high time frame, honestly, we're still in this 4 hour range. We're still in this 4 hour range here. Where's my change that? But then we're actually below the 0.5. So man, let's just flow with it. Let's look at the most recent market structure. So we're having this whole uptrend, push, pull back, push, pull back. And then we had a push, and then we pulled back. We pushed a bit, but then we failed to actually retest the high. And then we broke to the downside. So I'm kind of bearish on this one. But the fact that we're still inside this whole big move, that's what is actually confusing me. But honestly, if I'm a day trader, so I'm concerned with what's happening now. So now we're actually bearish. And if we drop on our 1 hour time frame, we'll actually see that clearly. That actually was bearish. Now, let me delete this and then let's draw this again. So these are most recent price action, yeah. push, pull, kind of like a push. I'll drag all this into one, pull back, and then we had like a double top scenario here, and then we broke to the downside. And those of you that are familiar with the double top, you know that the double top is kind of like a bearish indication. Yeah, a bearish reversal indication you get. So we had like a double top here, and then the market pushed. This was the news. So basically, we don't rate this candlestick here. This candlestick was just grabbing of liquidity. I think, yeah, grabbing of liquidity, and then the push down. So honestly, I'm still bearish on this one. This are the I am not actually looking. I'm not actually seeing any opportunities to take a sell, but then I would highlight this area and then this low down here. This low down here. So, well, what's happening to my charts? Yeah, this low down here. So basically, now, why am I highlighting this low and this high? If I see the market break above this high, I'll be looking for that retest for what? A continuation to the upside. A continuation to the upside. Yeah, but then if I don't see that, if I see a break to the downside instead, if I see a break to the downside instead, then I'm going to be looking at what? That retest and what? A continuation to the downside. That's basically why I'm highlighting these two areas, because those are the key areas for me. You get? So that's why, because I wouldn't want to hold this low that was broken here. This one here, this low was broken. Yeah. But then what would have waited for was with that retest around the 0.5 was around the 0.5 and 0.6 Fibonacci. But then this candlestick has caused something here that we don't really know. Price might want to, this is actually like a whipsaw. So price might actually want to go back to that point before continuing to the downside. So I'm just going to wait and see what it does. I'm going to wait price to get to any of my points of interest. Then I see either it breaks to the downside or breaks to the upside or remains in the range. So that's basically what I'll be watching out on EED. Now let's take a look at NZD. NZD is always my friend. So NZD did this beautiful stuff if we pay attention closely. Yeah, so I'm going to take a look at GJ method. So NZD actually broke this structure here to the downside, and then price pushed a bit to the downside. Yeah, let me zoom in so we can pay attention to what I'm showing. Yeah, so now we broke this area. We broke this area here. Broke this area here. And normally, those of you that know how I trade, normally, anytime I see a break, the first thing I do is drop my Fibonacci. Now, we're looking at price before this whole big week happened, this whole news event happened. Yeah. So now, from this high to this low before that week happened, you see that week actually almost touched. I mean, it was just exactly a 50% Fibonacci. Let me change that to golden ratio. Did it touch? Okay. It didn't touch very well. It just missed it. But then if we pay attention, yeah, we can see that it actually reacted at this candlestick here, this doji candlestick here. You can call it a supply zone, and price actually reacted from there. You get what I would like to see on this one right now here is for another retest of these areas here. These areas here. This was basically just like, I don't know, I like calling them candlesticks that bluff. I would like to see a deeper pull back into these areas. Let me drop my fib from stop to get the exact point. Yeah, I would like to see price come back into these areas. And I'm having that feeling price might come. Either ways, if price doesn't come, I'll watch out for any price action that happens or any market formation that happens to actually catch an opportunity. But then we're actually bearish. So what you should be looking out for most is what sells. And for now, where am I expecting those sales to happen is around what these areas here. That's basically what I'll be looking out for on NZD USD. Now, let's go to Euro USD. Hope you guys are following. Hope you guys understand what I'm drawing on my chart.
I understand.
Okay, good. So now, Euro USD2 is the same thing. We have a break. Yeah, even on the 4H, we are bearish. Yeah. Now, most of you be asking, how are we bearish on the 4H? The most recent market structure, I tell you guys, I'm a day trader. I'm looking at the most recent market structure. How they push, pull back, push, will fail to actually retest these highs, and it will broke to the downside. And honestly, for me, anything that what makes me consider a trend is what a break to the downside or upside. If there's a break to the upside, that's a break of a lower high to the upside, I consider it an uptrend. And if there's a break of the higher low to the downside, I consider it a bearish market. So that's basically how I look at my charts. So now let's go to the 1H here. If you go to the 1H, you see this much more clearly. Yeah, we had this whole push, and then what, we broke, and then we're still like in that kind of like in that downtrend. Yeah, that's that impulsive move. We have not started retracing yet. So basically, what I would love to see is for price to
So
come.
it's looking like an unequal double.
What?
I said so it's looking like an unequal double.
Yeah. Kind of like a shift in market structure. So now, yeah, what I would love to, and I love the fact that this structure that was broken is inside what is just around what, the golden ratio. Do you understand? So, and then this golden ratio says, look at this candlestick here. We have kind of like a supply zone here, but then the wick is too long. So I'll not read it like that. I'll actually be clinging on to this area here, this structure that was broken, because it's just inside the golden ratio. Do you get? So I'll wait to see once price gets inside here. I'll watch out for any price action. If I see my entry criteria around here, like I told you guys, these days I hardly take any aggressive entries. I always wait for those conservative entries. They always come few. I think last week I only had like 2 entries, but then they are always high probability. The chances of me losing are always low, are always reduced. Do you get? But then if I enter aggressively, it might happen, it might not happen. It's increasing my exposure to risk, which that's basically what I don't want. I don't want anything that will come and chop off my capital. So you guys should watch out for price. Once price gets inside here, you can watch out for what any of the entry criteria. Those of you that are old already know most of the entry criteria. The new ones, you can hit me up and then I'll know how I'll set you. So guys, watch out for what your entry criteria is around these areas here. If price still doesn't reach here before breaking this low to the downside, yeah, just shift and watch out for what's the low you get. But for now, well, let me stop confusing you guys. For now, yeah, let's watch out and see how price behaves inside this area. If price breaks this low to the downside, then fine, that's another story for another day. I will actually shift our perspective once it does. But as far as price is inside this area, we wait for it to come inside our golden ratio. That's basically it. Let me not confuse you guys. I'm saying too much. GBP USD. Do you guys actually understand what I have on Euro USD? Oh shit! This GBP USD. GBP USD is a bit tricky. It's tricky. On the 4H, on our directional time frame, we're still, I don't know, it's kind of like a range because it's not a clear break of structure. This was just a week. This was just a week here. It's not a clear break of structure. So I don't want to call this a bearish market. But then if we look, now, it's kind of like a small range, like we pushed up, pulled back, pushed up, and then we are still inside the range. I don't know. I think I wouldn't rate GBP USD today. I'll just stay off GBP USD until maybe that 4-hour candlestick close. But then we broke structure on the 1 hour. We broke this structure here on the 1 hour. And now price has actually come inside. I'm looking at it. Oh, shit. I'll just pay attention to this area here. That's basically what I'll do now. Pay attention to this area here. Let's price get inside and let me see how it behaves. That's basically what I would wait for. Because this move, I don't want to hold this whole area here. That it was the one that would facilitated this move. Because at this point here, we had kind of like a retracement, a very small retracement, one candlestick, and then we flushed to the downside. So that's on GBPUSD is always tricky. And I'm not an expert on this trade. On this pair. If it was AUD and NZD-USD, I can vouch for them, but GBPUSD is always tricky. Either it's just watch out for this area highlighted here between 125.113 and 124.997. It's actually around the psychological level, and GBPUSD likes respecting psychological levels. 125,000 the psychological level. So let's see. If I see any rejection candlesticks, like any bearish rejection candlesticks, then fine, I'll jump on the trade. But if I'm jumping on any trade at this point here, it's good for you guys to know that I'll be exiting at this low here. Or in short, GBPUSD, I'll not even wait for the price to get to this low. I'll exit at this body of this candlestick here, where the body began here. And then my stop loss is going to be, depends on the entry criteria. That's what will determine my stop loss, but it's good for you guys to know your exit points. Where are you supposed to take profits? For me, this is where I'll take my profits. If you want to be extreme, then you can take your profits at this wick here. But most times I've observed one thing with wicks and GBPUSD. Price don't like coming down to wicks most times, and then to go and take you out on break even or hit your stop loss. It happened last week, but I actually exited before, but that was what price did. I think last week and the other week. So please pay attention. You can exit at the body, but if you want to be extreme, exit at the wick. It's not just by recognizing the setups, but knowing where to exit safely. You get. So now I'm done with my pairs. Let's look at the price. I saw someone dropped. You guys can drop some suggestions. Let's take a look at someone dropped GJ. Let's take a look at GJ. GBP. Okay. Oh. GBP CHF. Sheesh. Wow. JPYs are always wild when it comes to impulsive moves. We just exploded and I think we're still exploding. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. We're bullish. Yeah. Then the 1 hour, I think we have a shift. Yeah, but then this shift is like one candlestick. If we go to our 15 minutes, we'll see it's better. But then I don't like rating market structure on the 15 minutes. Wow. Okay, so now I would like to see more price action on GJ before I conclude or before I make any conclusions. Yeah, we're already having like some bearish sentiments. We pushed down, we broke this high here, this higher low here to the downside. And then now these candlesticks that are forming, I always tell you guys, anytime candlesticks are struggling to cover, I mean, these candlesticks are not in the same proportion. What I mean is it's one candlestick that made this down move, and now two candlesticks are still struggling to reach half of it. So that's what we start sensing the whole bearish sentiment. Depends on the scenario, but in this case, it's bearish. Start sensing the whole bearish sentiment that what sellers are actually present in this market. So what I would like to see here is for buyers to push this market up small, push it up small, and then break this high to the downside. Once they break it to the downside, it will actually be clear. That will be a clear shift in market structure. When I'll actually look out for the retest and what's a continuation. That's basically what I'll be watching out for. But for now, I'll just watch out and see how the price behaves. That's just all. Someone said GBP CHF. You guys have Prospers, GBP CHF. CHF. Okay, GBP CHF, so I think it's the same thing. We have that whole bearish move, yeah, but then let's look at the 4H. Do we have any rejection? We don't have any rejection candles on the 4H. We just have like one bearish candle. We had this whole I think this is like a dragonfly doji. Yeah, but now we're having like this bearish candle here. So what I would like to see here, it's that clear shift of market structure. Yeah, we've already pushed the downside. If we fail to break above and then we kind of like retest this high or fail to retest it and then break to the downside, then I'll be looking for that retest. You get? That's another way I'll be looking at it. Another thing that can happen is that price will just what? Price can just continue what to the upside, break this high here, and what we expect what the retest for what the continuation. Those are the two things I'll be looking out for GBP CHF trading it. So any other pair you guys want me to take a look at before we go? Our time is running out. What other pairs do you guys want me to take a look at? Okay. That's been said. Since there are no pairs, please you guys can join. You guys can join. Oh, okay. Some people just dropped Euro AED and Euro card. Okay, let's take a look at them before we Euro AED. AED. This week just scares me off. Honestly, it's the same thing I had with AED USD. Because of this week, I'll just be highlighting the main lows and main highs and watch how price behaves. You get anywhere I see what's the break of structure, up or down, that's where I'll be waiting for the retest. That's basically it. And then I think the other one was Euro card. USD card. Wow, this is interesting. We broke to the downside. Yeah, we broke to the downside. Let's drop our feedback and see if we have anything interesting. Price is actually around the golden ratio of this move. Price actually around the golden ratio, but then we are not seeing any rejections yet. We're actually seeing rejections. It's actually rejecting, but we have not seen like that clear rejection candlestick yet. So for me, I'll just watch how price behaves around this area. But I think where I would love to see price touch that to suit me is this area here. But this area here is exactly at the 0.7. Yeah. If price gets here, if price comes extreme down to the 0.7 and then it doesn't close above the 0.7 and like see a weak, like a bearish rejection candle here. Yeah, something like this. A bearish rejection candle here. Yeah, I actually take the sell. Another thing I would love to see is what? Price to reject around here. Give me a rejection candle from here. Or just show me any entry criteria from here. Those are the two things I'm actually looking at. Those are the two things I'm actually looking at. Here or here. Some areas of interest. Someone said you see that's a USD card. USD card. Let's see. USD card is pretty rough. Let's take a look at it for a bit. It's long weeks. We're bearish. We're bearish. We're on the directional time frame. We're still bearish. We've not like clearly broken this high. The candlestick has not closed above yet, so we're still bearish. Let's take a look at I'll just calm down on this pair for you. I would like to see more price action, more market structure formation before I take any decision. It's because on the 4H you have not broken, but on the 1 hour I've broken, and that's like conflicting. So I'll just calm down on this pair. Let's see how it goes. Maybe tomorrow we can come back and take a look at it. This is the last pair I'll look at today. It's already 8:44. Please, you guys should always keep an open mind when it comes to the market. I always emphasize this. The only thing that is sure in the market is that anything can happen. Yeah, so always keep an open mind. Don't be rigid with your analysis. If you have a bearish sentiment and the market is showing you bullish sentiments, don't hesitate to switch your sentiment. And if you're already in a trade, let's say sell, yeah, and the market is showing you signs of bullish reversals, don't hesitate to cut your losses short. Do you get? I know it's painful, but then don't hesitate. Always protect your capital at all times. So you guys should stay safe and then have a very beautiful day. For those that would like to rewatch this, I'll be dropping the link on the 123 Forex group. The link to the group is in the chat section. You can take a look at it. It's up. I'm still going to paste it now. You can join it. So catch you guys tomorrow, same time. 8 o'clock, not late as today, shall. Anyhow, stay safe, guys. And thank you all for attending.